Hey, what's up, Tanner? So we're live right now at halftime. BYU is up 7-0 at the half. What are your initial reactions after this first half for BYU? We can maybe talk about some other games that went on a little bit, but let's talk about BYU first.
Um, as for how close of a game it is, this is what I was predicting, but I saw it going totally different. I saw more of an offensive shootout instead of a defensive stand. This is everything we wanted from BYU on the defensive end. We wanted to come up big on third downs. We wanted to feel like more than a speed bump in the road for teams, and I think we're seeing that tonight.
No, yeah, I was impressed with the defense actually. It's actually the opposite, and I think you kind of said the same thing of what we thought it would be. Defense showing up, holding Sam Houston to 0 points, but on the other hand, BYU offense is struggling a little bit, only up 7-0. I mean, that first drive that looked great, and I thought that would just carry on for the rest of the half, but it didn't. I mean, Slovis, we saw him run a couple times, get that ball in the end zone. Great play by him. He's throwing okay, but he's also overthrown a few guys. What do you think about Slovis? Maybe we can talk about him a little bit on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, so coming out, he looks very, very comfortable in the pocket. When he drops back, he has some time. He stops. He looks, but his accuracy is what needs that improvement. He's overthrown quite a few, thrown him behind, um, and he almost had that one interception, which I was worried about because there's been talk of how he's prone to interceptions, and so um, I just wanted one of the deep balls to connect, just a nice deep throw from him. And I think if we see that next half, if he can get one of those connections, he may get his groove going. But yeah, we got to see
Yeah,
something out lacking on yards. And
yeah. I mean, not really get. I mean, only 4.2 yards per completion. Um, can't really get the running game going. It seems like they're kind of throwing on first down. They've done this a few times where they throw on first down, doesn't pan out, run on second down, and then they have a third and long. Can't convert. I mean, if we pull up the team stats here, this is something on the defensive side that improved, but for the offense, just 2 of 8 on third downs. We punted, what, 6 times, 5 or 6 times, went for it once on fourth down. And then you have on the defensive side of the ball holding them 0 for 7 on third downs, which you brought up the stat on a previous video where they were 46% on allowing third down. So that's kind of a change going into this year. Even against the cupcake teams last year, we struggled in that aspect.
yeah, yeah, that is a huge improvement just there. Given it Sam Houston, once we see some real competition, we'll see kind of what goes into that. But as for the defense, I'm loving everything I'm seeing on rushing defense, passing defense. Bywater is a beast coming back. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there's things to be excited about on that defensive end.
Yeah, and they were getting pressure on the quarterback and making him panic a little bit, which we haven't seen a lot from past defenses of BYU. So I'll tell you who I thought was the worst part of the team, which was the offensive line, which actually thought would be the strongest. They were missing blocks, a lot of penalties, illegal blocks. We had a block in the back that took back a big run. We had a chop block that put us into bad position. So that offensive line just needs to be more disciplined and kind of step up a little bit. So
Yeah, so I think you nailed it on the head. There is offensive line, and because our receivers look good. So then I'd say offensive line, and I'd say Slovis with his accuracy, because when he was throwing it to Chase, Chase was there. You know, um, he had Rex a couple times. We got to see, and then yeah. So I'm seeing a big thing is just the accuracy on the passing, finding a way to get in the flow of that.
yeah, definitely. So maybe we can take a look at some of the live lines for BYU.
Yes,
That might give
absolutely.
us a, and then we could talk about maybe what we're going to see in the second half. Maybe make some predictions, make some bets, and just see what we're going to see going forward. So I have it pulled up here,
Yeah.
so we can see. I'm going to click into this.
If there's
Looks
a
like
if there's a live line for the punter to punt it, just
I don't see any
deeper than
props
deep.
for that.
Yeah, that guy's going to be
I
awesome
guess
this
he's
year.
this. Yeah, yeah, he looks good. I mean, he's really pinned them back, so that's been a positive, I guess.
Yeah.
Seeing your punter do well. So we have a line at 15.5. BYU still at minus 15.5. So that line's moved. We've seen it as high as 22. At the half, it's 16.5. Do you think you would take BYU on that or Sam Houston? Where do you see the second half kind of going? Because I
Yeah.
kind of have a picture of what it's going to be, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I personally, ooh, that's tough. If BYU gets their offense going, we see some plays that go for big yards, like more than 20 yards. If we start seeing passes that go for 20 yards, 30 yards, that's going to be an easy cover because the defense is getting the job done. So all that's going to really change is if BYU can start putting up those points. Now, that being said, if I had to go strictly off what I saw, I'd want that line to be somewhere down at 12 before I would say yes on the over or for the cover. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a bold prediction and I'm gonna say yes, BYU covers on that 15.5 simply because I think BYU is gonna get something on the offense going. I think they're gonna come out. Slovis is going to get a little more comfortable. They're going to find those big plays. I'm taking 15.5 BYU covers in the second half.
No, I have that same feeling. So I thought you might be the opposite way, but I feel the same. I think BYU, all they have to do is have a great third quarter, score 2 or 3 times. I think the defense is going to keep it up. I don't think Sam Houston's going to really break through on the offensive side of the ball, but I think BYU can, and I think that's where they'll cover there. As far as the over/under at 28.5, so there's only 7 points in the first half. If we think BYU is going to cover, that means they'd have to put up at least 2 more touchdowns, or I guess 10 more points, which wouldn't put them at the over. What do you think about the over/under line? It seems really low, probably a lot lower than where it started.
Yeah, I'd take the over. If I were to say BYU covers, I've got to go with that over because I don't see it being under that 28 and still covering 15. For that over, we're going to have to see another touchdown from Sam. We're going to see a touchdown. They are 0. A touchdown from Sam Houston. A couple more from BYU. And then I'm going on that over is what I would go.
Yeah, I think BYU is going to score 3 times in the second half at least. So that would put them, and that's 2 touchdowns, maybe a field goal. That puts them at 24 points. That means if Sam Houston gets a touchdown and 28-7, something like that, that means the over's going to hit. Second, as far as I was going to look at third quarter spread because I was going to pick BYU there, but it looks like it's locked.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
So it's what is that plus 850 for Sam Houston money line?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had, what is the high? Let's say you had some free plays in your account. How that's a good little payout.
Yeah, if that hits.
Would you let's how much would you be willing to venture on a free play for Sam
I don't
Houston?
know. I don't think I have. I don't have any free play.
Do you see any?
But I would.
Do you see any chance Sam Houston pulls an upset with that 850?
Honestly, no. I think that's more giving some money away. I don't see them winning this game, but I mean, there's that chance. But I might take it on something else, like maybe third quarter at 400 might be a little bit more likely.
Or even just a fourth quarter. We've often seen BYU slow down. Maybe that third quarter is not a bad bet. Either third or fourth.
Here's what I might take: highest scoring quarter, third quarter.
Yeah, I think that's not
135.
It's either going to be BYU comes out swinging, and then the game slowly slows down fourth. But then I'm worried that it'll be. Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Or does BYU slow down on defense? There's a worry. Do they slow down on defense fourth quarter because they take a lead and then we see some action? But
yeah, but if they're up enough for that to be a a thing where they're playing relaxed on defense, I think third quarter will still be nice. I'm gonna take this, just a couple dollars on there,
I like
and
that.
see what happens. I think I like that a lot. Anything you like here? I mean, we have BYU total scoring 21.5. Sam Houston 6.5 is the line. So just one touchdown. If you think they're going to get one touchdown, then you can bet the over. But the value isn't great.
No, I was going to say they're going to score. The real ballsy bet would be that under.
Yeah. I also think it's going to be the over for BYU as well, which is a little bit better. If you're going to pick one of these,
what is
21
their
and a half.
over? 21. Yeah, I actually like that.
I think they get to 24.
That's two. You know what I mean? That's two more touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh man. How about this, Brandon? I got your Venmo. Let's drop a little bit on that BYU.
This one over 21?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Let's see. What's that at? It's at minus
111.
Minus 111. That means we got to put $2 on it. Yeah.
180. And then so I think I like those. I think BYU gets at least 24 points on the board. It's kind of what I'm seeing. Ideally, they come out in the third quarter, score 3 touchdowns. It's 28-0, and they can kind of breathe easier a little bit, especially us as fans, because it's a little closer than you would like. And then, looking at our other bets, the ones that we let AI pick for us. So, AI had Sam Houston covering at 19.5, which could be very likely here. Had Wyoming covering, and they're actually leading right now. I believe 17-20 against Texas Tech. And then LSU tomorrow, which hasn't started yet. So, speaking of other Big 12 games, real quick, do you have any more thoughts on BYU going into the second half?
No, I just want to see something from the offense. I think everyone's kind of a little surprised that the defense is coming up where the offense is not, with so many weapons.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so coming back here, other Big 12 games. I know I had it here. Okay, yeah, so Texas Tech, Wyoming currently going on. Only 3 minutes left. Texas Tech has the ball. Looks like they're driving down, and they're in the red zone right now. So that's exciting. So maybe we'll see what happens there. But
that one's a miss. I had Texas Tech covering that 14-point spread, and that's
not going to happen. They're going to be lucky to win this game, it looks like.
Yeah.
They started out, they were up 17-0 after the first quarter, you can see there. And then they just kind of let it slip away.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going on. Okay, Sam Houston, BYU, 7-0 at the half. West Virginia, Penn State. That one actually covered late. With 6 seconds left, Penn State scored to cover, which was my this is the bet of the week. So I'm lucky there. And you had Texas Tech as your this is the bet.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I did.
So that's going to help me because I think you got me on some other ones. You picked correctly, Rice covering Texas. That game really, Texas struggled in the first half and then kind of third quarter. So maybe we can see that from BYU. 21 points, third quarter. Kansas State took care of business.
Yeah, they did. Looking
Colorado, good. That was a fun game. I think most of the nation was watching that one. What did you think about Colorado? Or TCU even, the Big 12 opponent?
Oh, well coached, right? Colorado, very well coached, in the sense of just getting the boys ready to play for that game. But I do have to tell them that you play Nebraska next week, and you've got USC later in the season, and it's just a process of can you get them back up to that level they played today every week, and that's tough. That's tough to bring that sort of A game every week, but they look good. The kid threw for 510 yards.
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders looked amazing. Travis
Hunter playing on both ends of the field, causing interceptions, and I think they've got to be very careful that they don't let a lot of it go to their heads.
Yeah,
and they stay
especially
disciplined, which they could because he showed he got him ready for this week under a lot of pressure to perform, and so
yeah.
it'd be easy to let it go to your head.
They got Nebraska next week, but they're playing at home. That game's going to be on Fox again, so we'll be able to watch it. Should be exciting. We got Oklahoma just rolling over Arkansas State, doing what they should. So they might be better than maybe you thought. Did you have them in your top 5, or you didn't? Right?
No, I did not have them in the top 5, but
So that could be a mistake here.
yeah,
yeah, they looked great. Iowa State played pretty well actually against Northern Iowa. They were only favored by 7 points. They won by 21. So good performance from them. Cincinnati, they covered by far. They were really impressive actually. That's what BYU should be doing if they were for real.
Yes.
So we'll see. And then this one, here's your other mistake, Tanner. Baylor.
Woof.
Texas State. I think
My
they were
little
favored by
quote, unquote,
26.
Good Baylor.
Favored by 26.5. Texas State wins 42-31. They play Utah next week, so I'm sure Utah should win that game if they were good.
Yeah,
but
they were good. Fluke.
Houston.
Fluke week 1.
We were both wrong on this one. Houston covered against UTSA. There was actually I was watching the end of it. Their controversial call on a 4th and 1. Houston went for it, and they reviewed the play and marked the ball, and they went out and measured it, and the tip of the ball was right at where the pole was. Called it a first down, and that was the end of the game. Then Oklahoma State, kind of okay performance against Central Arkansas, and then the other 2 days, Kansas yesterday pulled out late. They were struggling at the start of the game, but came out late and won by a lot. And then UCF just did really well against Kent State. So should be second half starting soon.
2020 Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Tied up. Kicked a field goal. 45 seconds left. So this one could go to overtime. That means there's no way Texas Tech is covering.
No. Well, let's get 2 onside kicks, quick scores.
Yeah, maybe they can do it.
Can't let my this is the bet go to waste.
Yeah, I was nervous about Penn State as well. So, yeah, but this one, I'll have to watch that one while the second half starts. But we got our live bets. So you're watching for BYU over 21.5.
Yes.
For team points, and then I've got third quarter as the highest scoring quarter of the game, which means it has to beat out the first quarter with 7 points, and then the fourth quarter can't beat it, which I like. So we're about 18 minutes in. We'll probably do a recap or some kind of week 1 recap of all our picks. All right?
Yep. Sounds good, Brandon. Once again,
okay, and
thank you.
I apologize for the last couple of videos where I sounded like a mouse. I got a mic now, so...
Got the mics, baby.
Hopefully it sounds better. Okay, we'll enjoy the second half, hopefully.
Sweet. Go Cougs.
Okay. See ya.